Hello, welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Gone Batty, and with me today to go Batty are my good friends Eli Copperman and Luke Perkins. Say hi.
Get loaded and funny characters.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Good to be back on here, especially with a cartoon we're relating to one of my least favorite sports, baseball. But anything relating to the great Robert McKimson will get me interested.
Let's go through a few bits of info before we get underway. So as mentioned, this is Gone Batty, released on the 12th of October 1954. It's the 720th in the series, and it's directed by Bob McKimson. You can find this beautiful restoration on the Looney Tunes Superstars Porky Pig DVD set. I have a link below to that set, and the HD version is out there because this would have been mastered in HD at the time. That's not in physical media yet, but hopefully it will be soon. It will not be on YouTube unless Warner Brothers themselves decide to upload it. It is a copyrighted cartoon. So in case you haven't seen it, Bobo the Elephant is the baseball team mascot for the Sweetwater Schnooks. And the entire team have been rendered unconscious by the opponents, the Greenville Goons. So the Schnooks manager, instead of forfeiting the game as a same person does, decides to bring in Bobo to play every position. And hilarity ensues. So there you are.
Something tells me that owner has a son who either has a pet elephant or wants a pet elephant.
So in terms of trivia, so this is the second and final short featuring Bobo the Elephant, with the first being Hobo Bobo. And if you didn't see that one, that's been recently released in one of the Collector's Choice volumes, and it looks absolutely stunning. The two shorts are different, thankfully. So yeah, it's not like this is a rehash of the original short. Some have said this is kind of like a rehash of Baseball Bugs, and in a way it is, but it does its own thing, honestly. It's fine. I think we can all agree Baseball Bugs is the superior short, but this one is no slouch. This one's still pretty good.
I really like this one.
Oh, for sure.
Because you really want to do this one. But we've got two references in the background. We've got Cohen ties. That appears to be a reference to the animator Herman Cohen. And Benny's should be a reference to Ben Washam, but maybe it's another Benny, I don't know, but I think it's Ben Washam.
Well, Ben Washam co-wrote this short, and it's interesting because I think that this was one of the last cartoons made in Robert McKimson's unit before the shutdown. Around this time, Sid Marcus was writing some of the McKimson shorts in addition to Ted Pierce. And I'm not really sure how Ben Washam ended up working on this short, but it is interesting to see some of his contributions to a different unit.
So Ben Washam, amazing Chuck Jones animator, by the way. Actually, my personal favorite Chuck Jones animator. He was an animator on Chuck Jones' unit almost throughout his time at Warner Brothers. But during the pre-shutdown and post-shutdown times, he got to work outside the Chuck Jones unit at least 3 different times. One was co-writing the story for Gone Batty with Sid Marcus. 2 was in Friz Freeling's unit as an animator on the pro-capitalism short by Word of Mouse, which came out the same year, by the way. And then 2 years later, post-shutdown, he got to be an animator for Robert McKimson again on Too Hop to Handle.
So, look, I'll admit with this short, I wasn't exactly excited to watch it because I saw it once on that Porky Pig set, and I don't know, maybe when I was watching it, I dismissed it for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I watched them all in a row and it just blended in with everything else. So, in rewatching it now, I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. This one is funny. This one is actually quite solid. Is it perfect? Perhaps not. But hey, I don't know. This one, I know I sometimes overuse the term underrated gem, but I think this one does qualify as it.
To be fair, Twitter likes to overuse the words underrated masterpiece a lot, so you're justified.
In this case, I think it is justified. But again, look, you guys be the judge in the comments and let us know if you think this one warrants that particular term. So I reckon we go through the short and let's see if we can state the case as to why this one is actually a really decent short, considering the time period too.
Sure.
So we open up with the newspaper, and people who have been watching this channel a lot know I love me looking at these newspapers, and sadly, this one is nothing funny, really. It's just got a obscure article on the bottom. It doesn't even appear to be from the Warner Archive News or anything. It's just probably from a newspaper lying around or something. But that's okay. It sets up the premise quickly. I love the photos used, the clippings, and so on. It's fine. It does its job. So, not a criticism.
And we have a nice arrangement of the Frat March playing by Carl Song.
Because it's never used that and never will again, right? For anything sport themed, right?
Oh, not at all.
Nah,
Not at all.
it's very obscure. No, I kid, of course. I use that all the time, of course. But I like how instead of just staying on that one shot of the newspaper, it actually zooms into each team to really introduce who these players are. And can we just say the Sweetwater Schnooks? Why on earth would you call your team that? And in case you are wondering, and Eli, you can certainly confirm this, of course, but Schnook is a Yiddish term.
What am I, a dictionary?
It basically means fool or simpleton. So it's, yeah. So why on earth would you call your team that? I don't know, but whatever.
Now,
it's funny.
It is a Yiddish term, although I didn't really realize it was Yiddish because there's another word that sounds similar to it that I cannot say on this commentary, but it's basically a foul-mouthed word. I guess maybe the team admittedly are really good, but maybe the manager had a few too many Bloody Marys one night, like, just call them a Schnooks.
And I gotta love the contrast between these two teams, right? So you got the goons, they start laughing at the other team, and I guess it's rightfully so, right? But they seem to be more fully animated, contrasted to the more limited Schnooks in terms of the animation. It's effective. It works.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It does. Well, because in fairness, I think their designs fit the more fluid type of animation Robert McKimson was known for. But seeing the more stylized look of the Schnooks there.
You actually reminded me, there is a Disney short that has a similar premise called Football Now and Then that Jack Kinney directed, where it's the modern football of tomorrow versus the yesteryear football team. And they have completely different styles in terms of character designs, and sometimes they're very limited. And they have different ways of talking too. The modern guy is like, all right, we're not going to get them anything, all right. Right. And then with the old guys, it's like sophistication, the do or die or triumph. It's a funny cartoon. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one because that was also a little gem too. So not to overuse the terms, but of course I love the delivery. You know, sticks and stones may break my bones, and so on. It's just and the designs. It's great.
Sticks and stones may break our bones, but names will never hurt us. Yeah.
I love that they all say it in unison. They probably just duplicated one recording that Mel Blanc did and just overlaid it on top of each other.
Just to add to that, according to Keith Scott's Cartoon Voices book, so Robert C. Bruce is the commentator. That should be pretty apparent, but he also did a few voices of some of the players. So I'm wondering if Mel Blanc did recorded it and also Robert C. Bruce, and they sort of put together. I don't know. But anyway, that's in case you're wondering about the voices. Those are the two voice actors in this one. The first half of this short, we don't even see Bobo the Elephant at all. We just see that, the goons are definitely way stronger than the Schnooks, let me put it this way. And this is where a lot of people seem to think that it's a repeat of Baseball Bugs. And fair enough, a lot of it's similar. You got the low ball wearer, a nice idea of using the golf club, but the goons cheat by literally moving the stadium.
There's an interesting thing about the low ball shot. When the pitcher does a low ball thing and they're penning across the background, if you look closely, you will see separate lines on the background separating a part of the background. And I have to wonder if some of the panned backgrounds were actually taped to each other and somehow the tape was a bit visible in a pretty long layout shot. It's really interesting if you look carefully.
The next bit I adored, where it's like, he's out. So he's tapping the player on the head, and it's like, he's out. No, he's not. Whack. Yes, now he is out.
He's out! Oh, no, he's not. Now he's out.
Oh, when I saw
like,
that, I was like, what? What the heck? What kind of a game is
like
this?
full-on murder, dude.
Straight up murder. I think that's a Rod Scribner thing.
Oh, yeah, that is Rod Scribner. But if this wasn't a cartoon, they'd be arrested immediately.
Now, I'm not too familiar with baseball aside from cartoons, and I know that they have conga lines and that sort of thing. Right?
I'm familiar.
So I'm hoping to see conga line baseball match when I do, but 167-0. I'm not as familiar with baseball, but something tells me there'd be probably no point in continuing that game.
I do have to wonder who is rooting for the Schnooks. Like, I can understand the goons, but who is rooting for the Schnooks other than maybe their families? Because at this point, anyone who is rooting for them, they're probably not at that game.
Or It could be that they just like the elephant. They go for them because of the cute mascot.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's possible. That boy, Schlap boy, he's still carrying logs.
But I tell you, that bit where the umpire calls strike and he's just knocked to the ground, and that animation of the umpire saying, I don't know what came over me. I meant ball what?
There's the pitch.
Strike one!
What did you say?
Gracious, I don't know what ever came over me. The one.
The delivery, the animation, just, that killed me.
Also by Rod
Yes.
Scribner, based on the jerky.
And the
movement.
drafts.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And hey, watch me clear the bench, and the ball just goes through the heads of the other team.
That is a great bit there. I love that pun. But I love the bit that comes after where it's like, boom, and then a little guy comes over, taps on it. It's like, that was a strike. And then one of the goons hits the Schnooks with a bat violently, and then he goes with an under-delivered, I don't like you, and then he faints. Look,
That was a strike. I don't like you.
That killed
Yeah,
me.
he could've-
That absolutely killed me.
The under delivery makes it way funnier.
So we set everything up, okay? So that's the first half done. The Schnooks are awful in terms of playing baseball. You have to wonder how they're even a competent team in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, the commentator says, oh, it looks like they'll have to forfeit, but wait, what's this? And the manager now convinces Bobo to pitch. You know, and there's nothing in the rules against elephants playing.
Yeah, they just shoehorn him in. Part of me wonders, and I don't know how these story developments worked, but I genuinely wonder if Sid Marcus and Ben Washam and Robert McKimson were trying to figure out, okay, how do we get these goofy, like pathetic dweebs to win this baseball game against these giant gorillas for an opposing team? And maybe after a while of thinking, Robert McKimson realized, wait a minute, I did a cartoon with an elephant who ends up in a baseball team. Let's just have him.
I'm
in the
glad he
second half."
shows up in this cartoon because Bobo is one of the cutest Looney Tunes designs ever. It's such a genuinely adorable design. This cartoon kind of feels like the precursor to the Air Bud film series from Disney in the 2000s.
Oh God, those movies.
Oh, yeah, those masterpieces,
Oh,
right? Of course they are. So, of course, the umpire allows it because, hey, there's no rules, right?
There's nothing in the rule book that says an elephant can't pitch.
Pitching.
Yeah, where do you get that stuff?
This is a ball game, not a circus.
Quiet! Quiet! There's nothing in the rule book that says an elephant can't pitch.
I love how he says it with such a rhythm to it. It's beat, 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 beat that says an elephant can't pitch. I love that.
And the animation of Bobo pitching is great. Even the animation of the reaction of the metal bat against the ball. Just slow-mo that one. That is great. Such amazing work, even at this point in time, including the slow ball. I mean, it's a repeated gag from Baseball Bugs, pretty much, but hey, it's still great. It's still fun.
It's a funny gag. You should use it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now Bobo bats for the whole team, apparently. Again, I'm not too familiar with baseball, but I'm assuming that wouldn't be allowed, but, you know, we'll go with it.
Yeah, and can I just say, one of the attempts they do, and it's a cartoon, but they stick a dynamite in it. Now, I don't know how old Bobo is. I think it's implied in his first appearance that he's a kid, but in this one, he's still pretty small. So regardless if it's an animal or human, you kill that thing, you're gonna, I don't know, man, you're gonna end up on a certain prison row for attempting to murder a little baby elephant. So not good on the goons.
Oh, for sure. And look at the animation of the goon's picture, where the arm turns into a cannon. That, I had to rewatch that a few times just to see how it was done. That's great.
Oh, it's such a cool shot.
Yeah.
And it's a quick transition, too.
Yeah, the timing here was super snappy. It's like, hey, if we're gonna make the impact work, it's got to be like, boom, done. Wow.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and the ball even goes through 3 fielders' hands, which is kind of gruesome if you really think about it. But anyway. It gets a home run, and at this point, I wanted to point out the short becomes so fast, and I'm wondering, because Ben Washam's obviously with the Jones unit, if you watch a lot of Jones shorts, one of the points to note is that a lot of those shorts will start slow, but then it'll get faster and faster and faster. And here we get the similar kind of beat. Slow start, and the pace picks up.
Well, it's also kind of like Tex Avery's Warner Brothers shorts. They would start off pretty slow, but then the pacing would just build up and up and up and up and up. And then...
Same with the Jack Hanna, Donald Duck cartoons. They'll start pretty slow, but then it'll get much quicker and quicker, and the animation will get a lot more snappier too.
Okay, so you mentioned the TNT bit, okay? And the fact that they do all this in plain view of the crowd, which we don't actually even see, the crowd is just dots of colored light as a way of cost cutting, I guess. But anyway, it's fine, it works. But it's in plain view of everyone.
And Bobo can see it too. You can see the shot of him preparing to bat. And then he does that weird conjoined expression that Robert McKimson liked doing that he got from Chuck Jones. He does that expression. You see them putting the dynamite in there.
Maybe the crowd was just drunk and barely noticed.
I think so too.
Come on, oh kid, oh boy, give it the old pepper, That's the old pepper, boy.
But why would a bazooka be allowed in a baseball game? Conga lines are one thing, but bazooka? A great animation of Bobo hitting all those balls, though. That's a good one to slow-mo as well. And we get a gag. We've seen before, but it's still great. The player's saying, I got it. Goes to the ground, and Robert C. Bruce's delivery. He got it.
I got it! He got it. So far, Bobo scored 104 runs in this inning. Not bad for a beginner.
That's a great one.
So good. And the two players, they're bumping into each other, sort of merging together.
Which way did it go?
I just liked how matter-of-factly the manager is to Bobo. It's like, hey, you made 167 runs in this innings. Like it's a normal thing. I'm not too familiar with baseball, but making 167 runs isn't exactly a small feat, especially on your own. Okay. And anyway,
I'm sure he wants to congratulate him, but not just yet, because they got to do one more throw just to even win.
Yep. And so the goons cheat, and it's like, damn those goons. They tie him down, and sure enough, extends his trunk to do the winning home run, which reminds me of what Clamper did with Daffy a few times, where he would extend his leg out. But hey, it's funny. And the Schnooks win, and sure enough, he's considered to be a great player, and the good thing is he works for peanuts. Ha ha. We're going to end on a dad joke.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Having Bobo only be paid in peanuts, it makes sense, because elephants love peanuts. Ain't that right, Dumbo? That's a little Roger Rabbit reference for you.
You love Roger Rabbit.
It's great.
The whole elephants liking peanuts thing, that is actually a myth, and peanuts are not actually part of an elephant's daily diet, neither in the wild nor in human care. They're actually herbivores, and they like to eat a lot of greens and vegetables and all that. So yeah, the peanuts thing is a myth.
Yep. And I learned that from The Simpsons, where Homer tries to feed Stampy the elephant. So there you are. Simpsons is educational.
I will say it's interesting that Robert McKimson never brought back Bobo anytime soon. And usually it's interesting because when directors reuse a character, they only intend for a one-shot or something like that. Like, say, Dodsworth, that interesting cat who appeared in a couple Foghorn shorts, and the Weasel. But those will usually be like 1 to 2 years apart. Here, though, Bobo returns after 7 years. And at the time that this short was released, like, even if audiences had seen Hobo Bobo, they probably would have forgotten it by that point. Or they wouldn't have seen Hobo Bobo, but they would see this short and be like, oh, this is kind of cute.
Look, this one was a pleasant surprise. And I know I sometimes overuse this, but I think it does apply here. An underrated gem. This one was funny, was solid. Is it the most beautiful looking short? No, but it's got funny designs, great gags, an interesting idea. What's not to like? If it's on, I'll watch it. And it's different from its predecessor too. So, no, this one gets 8.5. I like it. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I give it like a 7 or an 8. At the time we're recording this, I've actually seen this cartoon way more in this year than I have like pretty much every other year of my life. And it's still a funny cartoon. I would definitely enjoy it, but there's a lot of other cartoons in Robert McKimson's year that I love more than this one. But even beyond that, this is still a very fun, very cute, very entertaining short in its own right. And if you're looking for something that's maybe not better than Baseball Bugs, but under the same caliber of entertainment, this one will definitely do the trick. So yeah, and hey, for those who are like diehard Hobo Bobo fans, you might enjoy this one
All
a
six
lot
of
too.
them. I would give it an 8 out of 10. This one is kind of dear to me as it was one of the many McKimson shorts I got to watch when I was actually fascinated by the director's work around when I was first getting more interested in the Looney Tunes cartoons. So it kind of has a special place in me. But even then, I still think it's a very neat cartoon. There's some great gags. And with me actually being a baseball fan, Eli, I think the baseball gags in this one are great. Some are recycled, but there are some really great ones. A lot of the Mel Blanc deliveries in this short is absolutely great, especially the whole "I don't like you" bit. And it's just a really great short to watch. If you have nothing else to watch, I would probably put it on. So yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Really solid short.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that will do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And until next time, take care.
I don't like you.
I don't like you either.
You sure got a great ball player in that elephant. You can say that again. And he works for peanuts.